morning. I'm Diane Macedo. Thanks for streaming with us. In today's update, following a night of violent protests, the father of a man shot by police in Wisconsin says his son is paralyzed from the waist down. Jacob Blake was shot in the back at point-blank range as he leaned into his car with his kids inside. The National Guard has been deployed to support local law enforcement there as people set fires and clashed with police in riot gear for a second night. Blake is said to be in serious condition but stable. The officers involved have been placed on administrative leave while the Wisconsin Department of Justice investigates. And a Brooklyn park is set to be dedicated to transgender activist Marsha P. Johnson. The move makes Johnson the first LGBTQ person and first transgender person of color to have a New York park named after them. Johnson was a prominent figure during the Stonewall riots and remained an activist for decades. The park's renovations will include an art installation honoring her. The announcement was made yesterday on what would have been Johnson's 75th birthday. And millions along the Gulf Coast are bracing for Laura, which is now officially a hurricane. Mandatory evacuations are underway as people prepare for the storm, which is expected to make landfall as a Category 3 hurricane. For more on Hurricane Laura's track, I'm joined by meteorologist Greg Dutra. Greg, it looks like this storm is quickly picking up strength.
It is definitely intensifying fast. Now that it's over the best conditions for it in the Gulf of Mexico, very low shear environment, which means the thunderstorms as they grow around the core aren't going to be torn apart. And I would expect over the next 24 hours for this to form some kind of ragged eye, if not a full eye here. And you'll start feeling impacts along the Gulf Coast within the next 24 hours from this storm. Here it is on the satellite now. This high pressure system that's over Florida has definitely pushed the track just a little bit farther off to the west. We're just getting a new updated now. Thankfully not changing the intensity of the winds at landfall. Still at 115 miles per hour at about midnight on Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, on to maybe 8 o'clock in the morning would be the latest if this takes a more westerly track. Here's our latest in-house model. This has shifted a little bit east since the last time we updated, but still, this is farther west than the official forecast track and something I expect the official forecast track to change to, with 7 to 11 feet worth of storm surge, 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and possibly rain up to a foot. If you were to put this on the map, comparing it to a hurricane, first of all, if this does make landfall in Texas, it's going to be the first major hurricane since Harvey. If it makes landfall in Louisiana, it'll be the first major one to make landfall since Rita. And this will probably have impacts that'll be similar to Rita. Storm surge warnings up. This is insane. A 7 to 11 foot storm surge stretching from southwestern Louisiana all the way almost to Trinity Bay outside of Houston. Houston not underneath a hurricane warning just yet, but I expect that that may change if this track does shift more east. We'll put those wind gusts into motion here as this system lifts off to the north and finally does make landfall again late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Port Arthur could be seeing sustained winds of 109 miles per hour. Back towards Houston, Galveston still on the lower end of things, but again, if this track changes just by 50, 100 miles over the next couple of days, you could definitely see some major impacts here along with that very high storm surge. Still going to see some very, very heavy rainfall over the Houston area. Tropical storm watches inland. Those hurricane warnings, or I should say hurricane watches, go all the way, now stretching on the other side of Galveston Bay through central portions of Louisiana and then stopping just short of out there near the mouth of the Mississippi River. A wide stretching system, and that's the biggest difference between Marco and this, how much bigger this hurricane is going to be and also how much more powerful too. The spaghetti plots have definitely made a new shift further off to the west, and that is putting most of them over Houston. Again, by the next time the National Hurricane Center updates, I will bet you that track is shifted a little bit closer to the Houston area. And that, of course, Diane, is something that we don't want to see, along with these very heavy rainfall totals where rain could be in excess of a foot. Even these are starting to make that westerly shift that I was talking about. So, Diane, not ideal. I think that Houston, Galveston should be on the lookout for a big change their way, and you only have about 24 hours to prepare because then tropical storm force winds will be in and your time is up. You can't do any outdoor preparations after that.
Now is the time to do it.
Yep.
Thanks, Greg. And millions of students are back in school this week, many in virtual rather than physical classrooms. Parents and kids, though, are already dealing with technology challenges, like yesterday's Zoom outage, which came on the first day of school for many. Now we're learning that laptops are in short supply. Rebecca Jarvis has more on how families are adapting and going out of their way to try to make remote learning work.
Monday morning, just as a number of students and teachers were logging in to kick off day one of remote learning, go-to video conferencing app Zoom stopped working across the U.S. The outage lasting nearly 5 hours, even forcing some classes to cancel. Meantime, many families uncertain when their children will even have a device to learn on. An Associated Press investigation finding that more than 24 schools and districts in 15 different states are facing significant delays on laptop orders due to surging demand.
It's a little bit like asking them to paint without a paintbrush. It's asking them to play basketball without a ball.
In California's Mojave Desert, nearly 5,000 laptops are delayed because of the shortage.
It's several weeks delayed now.
Superintendent Baumgarten says he's become chief negotiator, suddenly playing let's make a deal with computer producers.
We're all chasing computers. We're calling the companies. I mean, this past weekend, we just got 1,000 computers.
And Morongo District isn't alone. In Clark County, Nevada, a district of over 327,000 students, their 79,400 laptop order isn't expected to ship until the end of September.
We've gotten this astronomical surge in demand for laptops. The supply chain was not anticipating having to produce this many, and we are still playing catch up at the moment.
That alarming need bringing a number of concerned citizens and charities to the table.
So we're out here
picking up laptops,
dropping off laptops.
In North Carolina, dance studio owner Brittany Cleckley creating the Laptop Given, asking her community to donate new and old laptops and funds for refurbishment.
If we're able to give 200 laptops, that's 200 more students able to focus on their education during this virtual season.
So thankful to see people showing up for their communities right now. And whether you have a laptop to donate or you're in the market for one, a number of cities and towns are currently running computer drives, so you can check that out. There's also a great website called everyoneon.org. You type in your zip code and it will connect you to lower cost Wi-Fi offers as well as computers in your area. Something worthwhile to check out. Diane?
Great tips, Rebecca. Thank you. TikTok is suing the Trump administration, claiming its Fifth Amendment rights are being violated. President Trump signed an executive order giving TikTok's owner, Chinese company ByteDance, 45 days to sell TikTok. The administration says the app's access to users' location, browsing, and search data could allow China to access Americans' personal information. Now, TikTok argues the executive order is not rooted in bona fide national security concerns. For more headlines in science and technology, let's go to ABC's Mona Kozar-Abdi.
In today's Tech Bites, the digital snow day. A Zoom outage yesterday brought virtual meetings and classrooms to a halt. People in several states were unable to use the software for hours. The outage disrupted classes for thousands of students learning virtually. UMass Amherst had to delay the first day of classes because of the outage. Zoom says it has resolved the issue. Amazon is expanding its cashier-free checkout to Whole Foods. The New York Post reports it's slated to launch next year. It's now available in more than 20 Amazon Go convenience store locations. Cameras, sensors, and computers allow users to avoid cashier check lines. And Jeep's monster e-bike starts shipping next month. The bike's electric motor has a range of up to 60 miles. Prices start at just under $6,000. Those are your Tech Bites. And Diane, at least it's cheaper than a car and more age-appropriate than a Barbie Jeep. Back to you.
What's age inappropriate about a Barbie Jeep? Barbie Jeeps are awesome. They go a little slow, though, I suppose. Thanks, Mona. And that does it for this ABC News Live update. I'm Diane Macedo. Thanks for joining us. And remember, ABC News Live is here for you all day with the latest news, context, and analysis.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.